talk kissing me, and it's quite amazing. Life and death is no mystery, and I wanna taste it. Step inside of my mind, and you'll find curiosity, animosity, high velocity, I can prophesize meditation. Reminisce on my wonder years, and I wonder, yeah. Sentiments of my words ain't been so sincere. It's intimate to my nerve that I just persevere. The big thought of falling off disappear to my face.
Flying Lotus is a working name for Stephen Ellison, who's an American rapper, producer, and filmmaker who happens to be the grandnephew of Alice Coltrane. He is known for his experimental music, pushing the boundaries of electronic music in particular. He released his first album in 2006, and he has released 5 more so far. Hi, my name's Dan, and this is a review of the album You're Dead! Exclamation mark, by Flying Lotus. It was released in 2014 and was his 5th studio album. It's my first time listening to it. I have reviewed a Flying Lotus album before on my channel, which was Until the Quiet Comes. That was just over a year ago that I did that review. So this is one of those albums, I come across them fairly often, that is fairly hard to genre hole. Some of the stuff that I've seen, jazz fusion, new jazz, wonky, whatever that means, but it's a great word. I'm gonna push into experimental hip hop, but that really, as one genre, does not do it justice. So it mixes many different things. We do have elements of jazz and electronic and hip hop, avant-garde and R&B, and even gospel at times. So yeah, if there was kind of a big mind map of music, it's kind of over here. It's not here. It's got a broad area, but it does have does it have a coherent sound to it? It does kind of, hold together as an album, but it definitely is jumping into lots of different styles. Now, I was thinking about this. I think about the music. I think about some broader meta ideas with the music. I've done quite a lot of reviews of jazz albums whilst doing this list, and I by no means would say I am an expert on jazz and the history of jazz, but it seems fairly clear that in the 50s and 60s, jazz was is forever undergoing transitions, but it underwent this particular set of transitions. So you started to get modal jazz, and you started to get free jazz and experimental jazz and avant-garde jazz. And a lot of it became more experimental and cerebral. And to some extent, I would say jazz at this point in time disappeared up its own orifice. It became all about that experimentation. And I have a theory, which is that what happened in jazz then is happening now in R&B, or in the last 15 years or so, because I've come across quite a lot of experimental R&B stuff. Now, the stuff that's experimental is probably going to be skewed into coming onto this list, because experimental music is often viewed as being of particular importance, which is, interesting. That could be argued, but it's just a fact that critics tend to pick up on stuff that's different, and you can understand why. So it may be that I presume there is plenty of straightforward R&B still around, but it does seem to be a genre where there is experimentation going on, and it has become a thing. And I would include this album in that. Even though it's not kind of slap bang R&B, I would say it's part of this experimentation field that's going on right now. When I say right now, this is 2014, so 12 years ago. Some of the playing here is very good. Some of the jazz is very jazz. Mostly it blends lots of different feels. I feel like all of it is pushing some boundaries. It's less about grooves and more about textures. There's quite a bit of breathy, paddy backing. There's some R&B like trippy rhythms. There's some singing that's quite high and some rapping. There's quite a few other musicians on here, as well as Mr. Flying Lotus. But actually, on bass, there's a guy called Thundercat who is going to appear in one of his own albums in a review in a week or so's time. Did I get what the songs were about? No. So sorry about that. I think that I'm still working my way through how I listen to stuff, and nearly 1,400 albums in, and I'm still not quite sure everything that goes on as I listen. I'm working on it. But one of the things is, do I pick up on lyrics or not? And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't, and I don't necessarily know why. But I didn't. So I didn't personally pick up on them. But when I read about it, I gathered this is a concept album about death and the afterlife. Interestingly, I find that ties in with what presumably was released yesterday, which was Jethro Tull's Passion Play, which I reviewed. They're 41 years apart, but they're both about death and the journey of afterlife. So 41 years of people are still doing concept albums about death. It's obviously a really important topic. Did I enjoy this album? Not hugely, I'm afraid. I felt lost. I have to say, it's a fairly alien world to me, and I think that's because the part of music it's in is this R&B/hip hop kind of area where I'm not as comfortable, and I think maybe I would, if I was into those genres more, maybe I would appreciate the experimentation more. I don't know if that's true or not. I know that sort of more rock-based experimentation I'm often more respond better to. But I don't know if that's actually true or if it's just a perception that I've got. So, yeah, I don't know. It tickled my intellect a bit, but mostly it was too alien to me. It was a little bit. It wasn't totally unapproachable, but I felt barriers to getting into it. So that's what I think of this album. I'd love to know what you think of the album. It may well be there are people out there who absolutely love this album. I wouldn't be surprised. It's the sort of thing where some people will really get into it. If that's you, I'd love to hear from you. If you hate it, yeah, whatever your opinion is, I would love to hear from you. So please do share with me in a comment. I tend to reply to comments. Please don't be freaked by that. But that's it from me for now.